Forgot your zip folder password or curious how hackers crack protected files? Hi, I'm Saishi, a security engineer and researcher, and in this video I'll take you step by step through an easy way to unlock password protected zip archives. Whether you want to recover your files or understand how hackers crack them during engagements, this guide is for you. Let's get started. On screen, I demonstrate an example password protected zip folder named confidential.zip that will be used during this video. As you can see, entering any password guess returns a password error. Trying to open the zip folder through the GUI shows us that there is a file inside that is locked and any incorrect password attempts will fail. The method we'll be using for cracking this folder will utilize a tool called John the Ripper, which is a free open source password cracking tool that enables us to perform offline attacks against cryptographic password hashes. We'll be using a helper tool that comes with John called Zip2John, which generates the hash we'll be using for offline cracking. When using Zip2John, we specify the name of the zip folder we wish to crack, followed by a greater than symbol and finally a name of a file we wish to input the hash to. This can be any name followed by the .hash extension. If it runs successfully, you should see the same output I have and also notice the new hash file in whichever directory you ran the command. Mine was in the desktop. So, what does Zip2John actually do? Well, it scans a zip folder and looks for encrypted files inside, like what we saw earlier. It figures out what kind of encryption is used, either the older zip crypto or newer WinZip AES. Then it pulls out all the important pieces needed to check passwords later. For zip crypto, it grabs an encryption header. For WinZip AES, it extracts things like salt and password verifier. All this info is packed into one line per encrypted file in a special format that John the Ripper understands. This lets John test passwords quickly without dealing with the whole zip file every time. Remember that hash file that we generated earlier? That's essentially what we're talking about. Now, for the juicy part, actually cracking the protected zip folder. We use John with a word list, and then specify the hash file we generated earlier that John will use to crack the password. The word list contains a list of passwords that John will use in a brute force cracking method. It's important to note that the correct password needs to be contained in the word list for this to work. During CTFs and testing engagements, when running password attacks using word lists, it's important to generate passwords that correlate to the target you're attacking for a better chance at cracking valid credentials. After letting John do its thing, we get results in the terminal which shows us the password highlighted, as seen on the screen. We can attempt to unzip the protected zip folder in the terminal using unzip. When prompted, we specify the password we got from John. If everything goes well, we should see a folder created with the name of the zip folder that contains all the files in the folder. Note that unzip actually asks for the password to be specified for the specific file in the zip folder. This could mean with multiple files in the folder, you might need to specify the password for each file. Opening the cracked zip folder, we notice the folder contains a file. This file seems to contain sensitive information. This is an example, but something to keep in mind. Alternatively, and also something to note, we can also provide the cracked password using the GUI instead of doing it through the terminal. If this helped, make sure to like and subscribe for more fast, practical tooling breakdowns and cybersecurity tutorials. Remember to use these techniques responsibly, only on systems you own or have explicit permissions to test. See you in the next one.